Yo, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generations discussion. And today, instead of circling back to the current manga chapter, I wanted to discuss something that is still a topic in the fandom, which is Kurama's death and rebirth. And in today's video, I want to look at both sides of the discussion and I want to weigh in from a unbiased perspective. Now, longtime viewers already know where I personally fall on this discussion. I've done two videos on this topic, one looking at the in-universe reason behind Kurama's death and why I firmly believe he won't come back, and another video looking at the Buddhist reason behind baryon mode killing Kurama, how it builds on Kishimoto's penchant for incorporating Buddhism and mythology into the Naruto franchise for jutsu, story elements, and certain character arcs, including their deaths. And a video I'm extremely proud of, which is a video essay going over the impact of Kurama's death on Naruto's character, as well as the foreshadowing for Kurama's death. I'm not going to repeat those points that those videos made, but I will leave the videos in the description box under the recommended videos section for video slots 1 and 2. Now, we can all agree that when baryon mode was first introduced to us, it was a moment that made the entire collective fandom hold its breath. It was a testament to how powerful and how dominant of a force Ishiki Otsutsuki had proven himself to be, where he could create such an aura of hopelessness to the point where some in the fandom sent me fan theories covering situations like Sasuke using the Reaper Death Seal to stop Ishiki, which wouldn't have worked as I explained in that video, but the point still stands. Ishiki was so big of a presence, it looked like a sacrifice was going to be needed to bring him down, and baryon mode was accumulation of this. In exchange for the massive power to topple Ishiki, we were first told baryon mode would kill Naruto and Kurama, but as the form continued to get used, Kurama's wording began to hint towards only Kurama dying, and lo and behold, that's what ended up happening, being the case. And while the manga version of the death left a lot to be desired, the anime version remains one of the most heart-wrenching scenes in the entire franchise, which is someone who literally cried when they read Jiraiya's death in the manga and Kakashi's death in the pain arc before he was revived. It's high flattery for me to say that baryon mode broke me in the anime version more than any other scene in the Naruto franchise. And that's saying a lot because, as you guys know, I prefer manga over anime. However, now that Naruto's lost baryon mode and he said himself his status as Hokage might be in jeopardy, which, reminder, the Hokage has always been the strongest of the 5 Kage, this oddly might imply that Naruto isn't sure if he's stronger than the collective 4 Kage. Naruto's title might be at risk, but the great thing about this situation is Naruto can always get another title by visiting Established Titles, the sponsor of today's video. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping with global reforestation efforts. It's a project based in historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. With Established Titles, you get at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with the crest, which has a unique plot number to show you your land. Established Titles plants a tree with every order they receive and work with charities like One Tree Planet and Trees for the Future to support global reforestation efforts. Just as Naruto gets to call himself Lord Hokage, you can officially call yourself Lord or Lady, which now that I have this certificate calling me a Lord, it's going to be on my desk and everybody who comes to my office has to call me the Lord. And you can get it on your credit card or your plane tickets, or you sussy bakas can even use it on your dating profiles. If you go for the romantic route, you can also purchase the couples pack, which comes with adjoining plots of land. The first 200 people purchasing the title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes of walking distance from it. Depending on how many of you guys want to become a Lord or a Lady, we can build our own little Naruto Explained kingdom. My late grandmother, who just passed away, not only loved flowers but also trees as well, so I'm gonna purchase one to honor my late grandmother. It makes an amazing last minute gift. Established Titles is actually running an early Black Friday sale, plus if you use the promo code EXPLAIN, you get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/explain to get your gift and help support the channel. Thank you again to Established Titles for sponsoring today's video. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at the arguments for Kurama returning, and then we're gonna look at the counterpoint to each argument so that there's no bias on here, and I'm going to reserve my answer for the end of the video on whether or not I've been swayed off my original stance after reading Kurama's death 2 years ago, because after all, opinions can change once you get new information. Jumping right into the discussion itself, one of the biggest points that people point to is how Kurama, when he was dying in that Boruto episode 218, when Kurama was about to pass away, just before he departed to the afterlife, Kurama fist bumped Naruto. This led to a lot of people saying that Kurama Kurama secretly transferred a small bit of his chakra to Naruto, since we've seen this done in the past. Using this line of reasoning, the belief is that Kurama's chakra will manifest inside of Naruto again at some point in time. However, on the other side of the argument, we have the case that this scene that everyone points to was never in the manga at all. It was an anime original scene. Naruto never fist bumped Kurama, which means that there was no transference of chakra if you factor in the manga. Going a step further, the anime went on to confirm more than once that Naruto doesn't have any of the Biju chakra inside of him. Sakura's lab confirmed that Naruto didn't have superhuman chakra, which is essentially the Biju chakra, and Naruto himself more than once has placed his hand on his stomach, stating verbally and non-verbally that there was something missing within himself. Sasuke spoke to Naruto and both the audience by telling him that he doesn't have the Nine Tails anymore, and that without the Kyuubi, Naruto can't act recklessly as he once did, in particular in the event that Momoshiki resurrected fully into Boruto's body. Sasuke and Gaara basically called into question of whether or not Naruto could back up his words to bring down Momoshiki if he was ever reborn inside of Boruto's body. The next thing that people say is that Kurama will be reborn because Biju don't die. They just respawn after a few years of death. It's one of the laws that we have in the Naruto universe that Biju can't be destroyed in that manner. The closest we've seen to someone trying to kill a Biju was when Sasuke was going to let the Biju inside the Ten Tails get burned alive by Amaterasu, which led to Naruto pleading with Sasuke and Sasuke saying let them all burn. And as we all know, this didn't happen. The same when it came to the Raikage wanting to kill Naruto so they could buy time to deal with the Akatsuki threat later on. In this line of thinking, Kurama would be reborn somewhere within a few years, similar to how the Three Tails was reborn after a short while when Yagura died off screen during the gap between the 2.5-year time skip between part 1 and part 2 of Naruto. Based off the anime, in episode 394 of Naruto Shippuden, Ao's words implied that the 4th Mizukage Yagura was just removed as Mizukage, and Ao stated that they had to focus on rebuilding the village, yet in almost a year later, the Three Tails was shown in the wild and being captured by the Akatsuki. The belief is that given the short turnaround for the Three Tails' death and the rebirth, the same should hold true for Kurama, which means Kurama should be popping up anytime now. On the other side of that argument, we have the point that Kurama himself said baryon mode was different from anything we were previously told. Baryon mode consumes the chakra of the Biju until there's nothing left. Once the chakra is gone, that's it, they're dead. While some say that Kurama said that this would be the last time he spoke to Naruto until Naruto reached the afterlife, because it takes several years, and by years it means several decades, and that by that point in time Naruto would be dead. Naruto's what, 33, 34 years old, so that's almost 70 years later. A lot of people are assuming that it's going to be that long before a Biju's reborn. However, there was nothing like this stated in the manga that it takes this long. The only thing that we've been told is that once a Biju dies, it gets reborn, and when we factored in the anime and Naruto's own manga, we actually have a decent timeline for how long it takes a Biju to be reborn, and it's not decades upon decades. The rebirth happens at the shortest 1 year if you consider the anime episode I referenced earlier, and in the manga, based off of the wording, Zabuza's coup attempt against the 4th Mizukage hadn't been super long ago. He was hiding in Gato's gang, hoping to rebuild his resources to attempt another coup attempt, meaning Yagura would have died at some point during part 1 of Naruto's story, which lines up with what the anime showed us. So on the high end, if we assume that Mei's attack against Yagura happened during the Land of Waves arc or during the Chunin exams or the Search of Tsunade arc, it would have been a 4-year turnaround for the Biju to be reborn. The belief is that Kurama saying I'll see you in the afterlife pretty much implies this as being a permanent death, because if he were being reborn, there would be no need to say as much, and he had no reasoning to tell Naruto a lie if his rebirth would just take longer than normal. Not telling Naruto that baryon mode would kill Kurama, that's one thing. Is Kurama doing so ultimately to save Naruto's life because he knows Naruto would never agree to use that power? But not telling him that he'd be reborn, but it would say take longer than normal, there's no reason to withhold that information because it's only a temporary goodbye. If anything, it would have given Naruto more peace about the situation, knowing Kurama isn't just dead for good. Kurama's actually going to come back. Kurama had no reason to withhold that information. Now, the other reason people say that Kurama will be reborn is that we currently have a new Ten Tails, albeit it's a juvenile Ten Tails by Sasuke's own words, but the belief is that a new Kurama can be created using the Ten Tails that's in Code's possession. Originally, the 9 Biju were created because the Sage of Six Paths used a jutsu called the creation of all things, which according according to Naruto Databook 4, uses yin-yang release and six-pass chakra to make things that don't exist into reality. The yin chakra, known as spiritual energy, takes the imagination of the user, and using yang release, i.e. physical energy, that imaginary substance now has life being breathed into it, which is how Hagoromo created the 9 Biju. The belief is that someone can use creation of all things to create a new Kurama, but the drawback is that this new Kurama won't be the one that Naruto knew before, because it won't have Kurama's memories and past experiences or personality. The opposite end to this argument is that one, Hagoromo took back the six-pass chakra he gave to Naruto and Sasuke after Kaguya was defeated, because he took back the chakra seals that he gave to them. Hagoromo went from saying, "I have no chakra, I gave it all away," to taking back the seals and suddenly having enough chakra to orchestrate that monster summoning jutsu that brought all the dead Kages back from the Pure Land to help summon Team 7 and all 9 Biju back to the main dimension known as Earth. No six-pass chakra. Some would say this hurts the chances of this happening, because the only time Naruto was shown making something out of nothing was when he had six-pass chakra and he remade Kakashi's eye. If he still had six-pass chakra, he could have just made himself and Sasuke a new arm, but the chakra was gone. Hagoromo took it back when he took back the seals. Naruto kept six-pass Sage Mode because that does not require six-pass chakra. Sasuke kept the Rinnegan because that does not require six-pass chakra. However, what we've seen with Code is that his claw marks are able to accomplish something very similar to the creation of all things. His claw marks were able to compress the Ten Tails down and remold it into a humanoid creature according to his will. How he was able to do this beyond stating that the Ten Tails is just chakra and that chakra can be molded like clay, we don't know anything further about these Ten Tails soldiers. Like, do they have a personality like all the Biju? Do they have their own hopes and dreams and wishes? Or are they just mindless soldiers controlled by Code? Which is reason number 900 I say we need Boruto data books, because a Boruto data book gives you supplemental guide information that fills in the blanks, like Naruto's 4 data books did for its 72 volume manga, or like how Spy Family's manga has data books, or like how Bleach has data books. Even Attack on Titan has data books. Questions like this get answered in data books, which is why we need them. However, where do I stand on this whole debate? Has my stance changed any from 2 years ago? Personally, I will say Kurama's likely dead, and if Boruto has a 2.5 year time skip like Naruto did, or an even longer time skip, and we see no rumblings of a wild Kurama, I'm going to stick to it, because the only case we have for Biju being reborn in the series, the wait time was not this long. I still think baryon mode consumed Kurama's chakra, and that meeting with Naruto came from the last embers of the chakra fading away, because baryon mode didn't run its original course because Ishiki stomped him out of it. But regardless as to if Naruto didn't re-enter baryon mode because he couldn't, or if he just couldn't maintain concentration to go back into the form, because you know Ishiki was stomping his guts out, and Kurama did say concentration was key to maintaining the form, Kurama went smoke just like how Rinnegan went pokey, so Sasuke could cosplay as Zoro. Code's claw mark does open up the door that someone can remold the Ten Tails into something else, but let's say this happens. It won't be the same Kurama as before, just as Kashin Koji isn't Jiraiya. He's genetically Jiraiya, but he's not actually Jiraiya. That being said, I'm curious to know you guys' thoughts on this. While you think that over, click here for my Chainsaw Man chapter 110 review, or click here for this Naruto Explained video.